So we're officially 50 days away from the Baltimore Ravens kicking off their season against the reigning Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. We also have a elite NFL wide receiver in Brandon Aiyuk from the San Francisco 49ers requesting a trade. We're going to talk about the possibility of the Ravens pulling the trigger on a big-time trade like this. Also, there's rumors that Eddie Jackson is in on a visit with the Baltimore Ravens, a free agent, two-time Pro Bowl safety, and we're going to talk about that as well as some big-time storylines heading into camp. Derrick Henry landing on the top 50 PFF list and much more Baltimore Ravens news. So welcome in to another episode of Ravens Reports. It's your guy Noah here with For the Flock, as always, bringing you guys our top 5 news reports and storylines coming out of our Baltimore Ravens today. Let's go ahead and dive right in because we got a lot to talk about. At number 1, newly added future Hall of Fame caliber running back Derrick Henry landed at number 31st overall in PFF's top 50 players in the entire NFL heading into 2024. Check out these numbers here. Derrick Henry in his career, 2,185 touches, 10,955 total yards, 97 touchdowns, man. So, hey, all I'm saying, there's a good chance, a decent possibility that in 50 days against the Chiefs, Derrick Henry could hit 100 total touchdowns. It's not out of the realm of possibility to see Derrick Henry putting up 3 touchdowns in a game. We also got 7,437 rushing yards after contact. That's absurd, man. Nearly 3/4, nearly 75% of his production, of his total yards, have come after contact. That tells you the type of running back that he is. He's an absolute bear to bring down. He can make you miss. He can run through you. He can run around you. He can run away from you with the speed. And we also have seen the clips coming out of Derrick Henry putting in work as if he's never accomplished anything. He still has a fire and a hunger to be successful. And he's even said in some interviews, before, as soon as he was added to the Ravens, like, hey, I got to go in and compete, earn my spot. And I'm just as hungry as I've ever been. I'm fired up to see what Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, 2 possible Hall of Fame players, definitely 2 All-Pro players, players that have been the top of their position in the NFL in the same backfield together. Then you pair in a Keaton Mitchell, you got Justice Hill, you got some great tight ends, you got the fullback Patrick Ricard. This is going to be a potent offense. Watch out for Derrick Henry. At number 2, multiple reports of rumors of Eddie Jackson being in Baltimore. It was reported yesterday that the two-time Pro Bowl safety would be heading to Baltimore tomorrow, which would be today now. So he could be in Baltimore right now as we speak, talking to the Baltimore Ravens. Like I said, this report is not confirmed. It is rumored, but it makes a lot of sense because Eddie Jackson was paired up with Roquan Smith there for years in Chicago. They were a pretty nasty duo with one of the best defenses in the National Football League. Plus, the Ravens have a need there at safety. They need some more depth there because if Marcus Williams or Kyle Hamilton goes down, you're going to need some more depth there. They had Geno Stone as that number 3 safety last year. We do have our Darius Washington, but you definitely need some more depth there. Eddie Jackson and Justin Simmons make a lot of sense. In his career, he has an All-Pro selection, 2 Pro Bowl selections. Those 2 years came from 2018 and 2019. He's also got 15 interceptions in his career, being productive. He's also been a relatively healthy player. The least amount of games he's ever played in a season was 12. So still played most of the season, and that was last year in 2023 that he had that 12-game season having some injuries. He also has 44 pass deflections and 10 forced fumbles in his career. And he's consistently around the football, racking up 459 combined tackles in his career. This would be a great piece for some more depth in the secondary back there. He's listed as a strong safety, but he does have some versatility to play both free and strong. Let me know in the comment section below, how would you feel about the Ravens pursuing Eddie Jackson and adding him back there in that secondary? At number 3, one of the biggest storylines heading into camp this year that we know Lamar Jackson, the rookies are already there, and the rest of the veterans are reporting just in a few days here, and camp's going to be kicking off. One of the biggest storylines is the offensive line battle. Now, this is like the biggest question mark, I'd say, heading into our 2024 NFL season. Now, if you guys can remember, John Harbaugh said during minicamp that he would like to have an idea of who the starters will be on that offensive line by the second week of training camp. So relatively soon, within 14 days or so, John Harbaugh wants to know who his starters are. And that's big time so they can build continuity and chemistry together, especially blocking for, the new Baltimore Raven running back and Derrick Henry that we just talked about, and trying to protect Lamar Jackson so he can get the ball downfield to these dynamic playmakers and Zay Flowers and the speedster and Devontae Walker with the 4.3 speed. Rashad Bateman looking really good in his workouts and finally healthy. Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. There's a lot of playmakers you want to get the ball to, but that doesn't matter if you don't have time to get him the football. So Lamar Jackson is probably just as curious as we are, just as curious as John Harbaugh is, of who's going to be his top 5, protectors up front on that offensive line. 3 of these starters are going to be identified within the next few weeks here, because we know Tyler Linderbaum is starting at center and Ronnie Stanley starting at left tackle. Left guard, right guard, and right tackle are all 3 major competitions. I think the veteran free agent addition in Josh Jones is going to take one of those guard spots. I also think Andrew Voorhees is a strong candidate to take one of those guard spots. And I would not be surprised if the rookie Roger Rosengarten took that right tackle spot. But I'm also not ruling out Patrick McCarry or Daniel Falele if they don't think that the rookie is ready yet. Let me know in the comments who you think the starting 5 on the offensive line will be. At number 4, this is where it gets juicy, right? Because Brandon Aiyuk has officially requested a trade from the San Francisco 49ers. Can the Ravens trade for him? Yes. Is it likely? Probably not. The Ravens have not been a team that have traded for top-tier guys at the very highest part of the market at the wide receiver position. We saw it with Roquan Smith. They traded for Roquan. He was like a hand-in-glove fit, a natural leader, but he was on the defensive side of the football, and they paid him as the highest paid at his position at the time. But we haven't really seen that type of move happen on the offensive side of the football. And Aiyuk is going to command upwards of $30 million per year, and that's going to take up a big amount of cap space for years to come. But you can't stop yourself from thinking about the possibility of Brandon Aiyuk catching balls from Lamar Jackson alongside of Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely with Derrick Henry in the backfield and compliments like Rashad Bateman and Devontae Walker. Like, it would just be absolutely absurd because we've never seen Lamar Jackson with the top 10 wide receiver. I don't even know if we've ever seen Lamar Jackson with a top 20 wide receiver. Think about it in the comment section below. Who's the best wide receiver Lamar Jackson has ever played with? Is it Hollywood Brown? Was it, kind of back end of career, Michael Crabtree? We got Zay Flowers now. He was a rookie last year. He had 1,000 yards of production when you had the playoffs. But probably the most talented pass catcher he's ever played with is Mark Andrews. So the idea of adding a bona fide number 1 target that's had a 1,300-yard type of season and Brandon Aiyuk, that's exciting. That would truly make an unstoppable offense with guys that can win at every level of the field at every single position. So would Eric DeCosta pull a trade like this? I don't know, because it depends on how much capital they'd have to give up. Are we asking for a first-round pick in a second or 2 firsts, or, plus you got to pay the big contract. So it all depends on what the compensation and the trade capital would be. But man, is it sure an exciting prospect and fun idea to see Brandon Aiyuk running downfield catching balls from Lamar Jackson. At number 5, so this study came out that had teams and their fan bases and what percentage of the fans were happy with the current roster and other really cool stats that I saw here. And just so you guys know, 90.3% of Ravens fans are happy with the current roster. That shows you that most of this team, of the fan base, likes this team's roster and is content with it and thinks it's ready to go win a Super Bowl championship. Let me know in the comment section below, like the weaknesses, like the spots of the roster you're most concerned with. And as always, if you got value out of today's content, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button. It really helps out the channel. And don't forget to have that subscribe and notification bell on so we can make sure you're up to date on all of your Baltimore Ravens news and content. You're not going to want to miss some of the stuff we got planned upcoming. The season is right around the corner, 50 days away, and I'm fired up, man. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
When he wasn't looking, he ran me over.